Hi everyone, this is a short practice that includes some gentle warm-ups into sun salutations. The intention of this specific video is to offer the modifications for the practice of the gentle warm-up into sun salutations. If you have sensitive wrists, go ahead and grab some blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, kind of level books, just something firm that you can place your hands upon. And if you have sensitive knees, a towel, a blanket to place beneath your knees. Let's get started. So again, taking padding beneath the knees, we'll begin in a child's pose. So if coming into like child's pose with that deep fold in the knees is not comfortable for you, stack your blocks up. Don't have that big compression in the knee joint. Rest your forehead upon your stacked blocks or books. Soften the elbows and release the arms down beside you. So just trying to feel really supported here, and any little movements or personal adjustments, that is the greatest modification of your practice, is just kind of figuring out what feels best for you. Or else, come back into child's pose. You can scooch the blocks forward. You can also keep the blocks underneath your forehead if you don't like being in that kind of decline, or if you just don't enjoy that shape completely. So you can just have the blocks here, hips to heels, arms stretch forward, elbows soften. Just take a couple of breaths to feel your body, to feel your breath, to just be present in this moment. Just connect to what you feel, how you feel. Begin to slow and steady down your breathing, so as we move through the practice, your breath can be a teacher for you, letting you know if perhaps you're pushing too hard, you need to take a little rest, or come back to the present moment by focusing on your breath. And then we'll come to a spinal warm-up, coming into hands and knees. Again, using those blocks so you can consciously have the weight kind of more in the back body if you have sensitive wrists. Taking a few cycles of your cow and your cat, so curling the toes, lifting the chest, looking up, uncurling the toes, getting very round in the spine. You can even have a lean back here, so again, it's less weight bearing for the hands, the wrists, and the arms. And just continuing, breathing and moving and feeling and just staying really present with what is for one more cycle. Your option is to come into downward facing dog. If already you know inversions don't work well for you, or again, if the wrists are too sensitive, go ahead and stay in your table shape, and you'll stretch one leg back, get the weight out of the wrist by pushing back into the toes, leaning back a bit, and then switching. So you can do that, stretching the legs back, or you can send the blocks to the side, walk the hands forward a bit, curl the toes, lift your knees, stretch the hips up and back. Keep your knees pretty bent here, so you're focusing more on a long spine, and watch if I straighten my legs and the spine gets really round. So bend the knees, focus on length through the spine, and pedal out. Again, if you're finding the inversion not helpful for you, if it's too much for your wrists, if you're just entering practice or for any reason at all, remember the modification, okay, is stretching the backs of the legs, the feet. We'll make our way into a standing forward fold. So if you're in down dog, you'll just walk your feet forward. If you're in this shape, you'll move your hands to the side, feet to the ground. So again, inversions are uncomfortable for some people, a little rush of blood to the head that they might not be used to, low blood pressure. So for forward folding, you can always stay, just check that I'm in, there we go. You can stay in this half position, okay? And breathing here. The knees are always a little bent, you're keeping your hips above the heels. Otherwise, if you do enjoy a full forward fold, again, soft knees and hang forward. And then everyone to come up, find that really long spine, put your hands on your hips and rise to stand. Okay. We'll do something a little more active for the spinal warm-up. I'm just gonna move this to the side. I will need it for the sun salute. So for the spinal warm-up for rotation, just place one hand on the center of your chest, take the other arm open. Inhale, easy twist. So your feet stay planted, the hips stay pretty much centered, twisting from like upper ribs. Inhaling, exhale back to center. Switch the palm, open, inhaling, and back to center. So you can kind of move through this a little vigorously with a quicker breath. If that's not comfortable for you, you can move through it nice and slow. If you have limited mobility in the spine, the modification is just not taking such a deep range in your twist, but you can still find some movement through the back body. Otherwise, again, you can kind of take it at a comfortable pace for you. Good. And then coming back to center. So last directions of the spinal stretch, just reach your arms up and grab a wrist, take an easy side bend, just remembering that your breath is your teacher. So if you're side bending like this and you're not breathing, it's pretty pointless. So come to a place where you can breathe. If you have limited mobility in the spine, just really don't bend far. Just bend enough that you can feel those kind of little muscles in between your ribs get a stretch. You might not feel them, but maybe sense that as you breathe and feel the obliques get a little stretch. You'll wait for an exhale to come back to center, and then you'll switch. And again, you don't need a deep bend here. Just find a place where you can breathe with ease and feel kind of the opening of the ribs and the opening of the side body. Wait for your exhale and come back to center. And just release your arms down. You can even shake it out. I'll move this forward. I think it's at a good spot. So just one sun salutation example, but feel free to move through it a bunch of times if it's feeling good for you. Just come to stand, just making a commitment to take the modifications that you need, honoring your body, staying present, connected. On your inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, fold forward. Remember, if you don't like forward folds, it's a half lift. Otherwise, it's a fold forward with bent knees. Everyone bring hands to your props or even to the shins, lengthen your spine. And then we'll take it back to the modification, but if you practice downward facing dog, you can take it back to downward facing dog. Okay, so you're either in downward facing dog or an easy table here. If you're in downward facing dog, you can transition to a plank or you can come down to your knees. If you're on your blocks, you'll move them to the side, lean forward a bit, and then slowly, make sure I stay in here, slowly come down to your stomach. So if you know plank, you're doing that from plank. Point the toes, the padding beneath you is just fine. Bring the palms by the ribs, and just take a little lift of the chest. So some people get like really dramatic with their cobra. Let's actually focus more on your back muscles working in your cobra, so lift your palms up off the ground. So it's not a gigantic bend in your spine, but you're opening through the chest, through the shoulders, and strengthening through your back body. Breathe. And then the hands down, take your time, okay? You can come back to down dog through plank or whatnot, but my focus is to show modification today, so you can come right back to your table, okay? Breathe in your table, or breathe in your downward facing dog. From your down dog, you walk yourself forward from here. Remember, widen. Maybe try to use like an opposite foot to come forward, so stay present with what you did last time. If you forgot, just switch it next time. And then step to your forward fold. Again, those not folding deeply, hands onto blocks, otherwise you're forward folded. Everyone, hands onto blocks, hands onto hips, come all the way up. And we will end with a big sweeping of the arms up. Inhale, saluting the sun, and exhale, arms down beside you. Just take a moment, return your hands to heart center. Just taking a moment of gratitude for this practice. If there are any other modifications, any other support that you might need, just let me know. Message me, comment. I'm not even sure where I'm posting this, but let me know and I will help modify accordingly.
yeah, wishing everyone a great day.